kid. Vote. I need to survive.
What does it mean?
Vote. It saves my life.
Is this a joke?
What's going on?
Why do I need to take your life?
This is how I survive.
Who's this guy?
That's how this
How
village
are we
works.
supposed to do? It just says yes and no. It doesn't say anything. What are we doing?
How do we vote then?
Or you survive.
Vote for me to live.
Why?
What's the deed to the village that is so important for your life?
I will now collect the slips from the elders.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for choosing Fringe Festival. For tonight's performance, we ask that you silence your cell phones and no flash photography as to respect the artists on stage. Don't forget that with all Fringe Festival passes, you are able to see shows all day long in our area. Without further ado, we present our show.
This month has been good for the village. The crops are plentiful, the children are growing, and the elders are watching. Yes, all is good on this day. May our love keep us alive. Have you prepared?
I beg you all, please.
William,
Well, I know that you voted. I'd like to propose an alternative.
What might that be? You're not attempting to supplant the village, are you?
Supplant?
Overthrow. You're not trying to overthrow the council, are you?
Of course not. I live for this village. I've watched over and I've fed this village for the past 134 years of my life. But I don't want to stop.
You don't want to stop? I don't mean to condescend, but nobody chooses to stop helping the village.
I don't know what else I can say.
if you have nothing else to say, we shall proceed.
I love you.
I call for a poll from the village instead of the elders.
This cannot be ignored. Obviously, I don't need to remind you of the consequences, May.
By my recollection, it's been 29 years since somebody's called for the village's vote. This is not to be taken lightly.
May, I'll ask you again. And really think about this. Are you sure that this is what you want to do?
Our child and I can't survive without him. You know how much William does for all of us. He's given life to this village.
That's not lost on us, May.
This isn't something that we do for the sheer pleasure of it.
That's enough. On the count of 3, please silently vote for William's dismissal. 1, 2, 3. Then we shall move on to the high elders' votes. No. Yes. No. 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 The elders have declared that no, you may not continue on with the village. May the glory of William and May be shared with us forever. Meliorism.
William.
Meliorism.
Almanac.
Almanac.
It is done.
We will always remember what they have done for us.
Their bodies shall be buried in the shadow of the great tree. May the roots reach them and hold them.
I feel terrible. I wanted to say something to help them, but you remember how that went the last time.
Yes, how could I forget? They frequently helped out in my store, and William was always a great help to everyone in the village. They will be missed dearly.
Who do you think is going to receive the next letter?
It's impossible to know. I hope they'll not be me, but I accepted when my child received her letter 4 years ago.
See, I've tried to accept it, but I've never lost anyone. And I don't know how it feels, but I still want to accomplish great things with this village before I'm taken, you know?
You have been helpful to our village, Erica, and I'm sure your parents were too.
Yeah, I bet they were.
Do you think it has something to do with the amount of involvement in the village?
You shouldn't ask such questions with the elders still here.
That can't have anything to do with it. May and William were both so involved in everything.
That's true.
I brought in a lot of crops for us. They watched my children grow and frequently helped me plant the gardens.
William and I built 4 houses since he received his letter, and he never once mentioned that he was afraid.
He was a brave man. I remember when he used to write poems for the villagers before they passed. They would die in that chair with full, pure hearts.
The council even let him know in advance, so that the person sitting in that chair would be at peace before it all happened.
Who's going to raise Daniel now that they've passed?
He's only 6. He's going to have a long life without them, so it's important that we explain this process to him, gingerly, delicately. I can take him in until we find a more permanent home.
Now that the council isn't listening, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Why would she put it to a vote like that? Why would she make us try and change their fate?
This village is much bigger than all of us. I honestly don't know.
Do you think that they would ever reverse their decision based on an action like this?
I've attended this ceremony for 348 years, and of all those times, they've only reversed the decision once. I will never understand.
We have received word from the elders that someone in the village has been speculating about the ceremonial release. As you all know, this is strictly forbidden. It's mentioned several times in the book. Monica, here is your letter.
No.
I accept this. Am I able to speak to the elders about this decision?
To further question their authority? No, you may not speak with them.
Be happy with the month you were given. Your page has been marked.
Let's get you home.
I'll help you plan for your last month.
Can I ask you 2 a question?
If you must.
How long have you been attending these ceremonies?
Which ceremonies? Harvest? Initiation?
Don't pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about. They're gone.
I've attended this ceremony more times than I can count.
I've attended this ceremony 184 times.
How can you possibly keep track of that?
How could you possibly lose track of that?
What are you getting at?
I don't know. It just all seems a little too...
It's tradition. That's the word you're searching for. It's tradition. You haven't been here as long as I have, but I've seen your ancestors. I know what happened to them.
What's your point?
Be delicate, please. Cole is obviously upset.
I've had to watch some awful things happen to people I've loved too. I've had to watch ceremonies that hurt more than William and Meg's. I remember when never mind.
No, Jake. Say it.
We have crops to maintain, and I'd like to dine with Monica tonight. Can we just...
Say it!
I remember when your mother called for a pole to save your brother.
And what do you remember from what happened?
I'm going to go. I have food to prepare. I'll see you at dinner.
Why are you doing this?
Just humor me. I want to know what happened, as you remember it.
Your brother was given his letter right after his 18th birthday. Except his said he only had a week. Your mother then fought with the council.
She did not fight! Do not misrepresent her legacy.
She said it was not right. So she called for a poll from the village. They lost.
Your mother was taken with your brother as a reminder to the village not to defy the authority of the council.
And how did you vote? Besides my father, it was just the four of us in the world. We hadn't even had the chance to have a family as big as yours. How did you vote to save my mother and brother?
The same way it happened for May and William. Everyone was and still is too afraid of the council to save even the most valuable members of the village.
You're just like the rest of them. We're all in that book. We can't escape it.
I know it's sad to see people go, but now we have more words. Our vocabularies grow with each person that passes.
But why didn't we have these words before? Did they just make them up?
No, they've always existed.
But where do they come from?
I don't know, it's hard to say.
But what about the book?
We've talked about this before. We aren't supposed to say anything. Now, what do I always say?
The council knows best. They do what's best for us and the community.
And it's best not to question why.
But what if I have questions? Who am I supposed to ask?
You should only come to me. If you ask anyone else, terrible things could happen.
Thank you all for dining with me tonight. I really didn't want to be alone right now.
You deserve a feast on the night before your ceremony. We'll all be here to show our love and support until we have to say goodbye to you tomorrow.
How long have you been alive?
423 years. I've watched many of you grow up. Lucas, do you remember the time you were helping my husband with?
The roof. Oh wow, I hadn't thought of that in decades.
I don't think I've heard this story.
It's kind of funny now that I look back on it. We were patching the roof of the council chambers.
Wait, you were that close to the council chambers?
Cole, let him finish the story. Don't interrupt. It's off-putting.
It's okay. There was a leak in the roof, and we needed to patch it up. We didn't want water to fall into the book. Obviously, we had to be careful because of the importance of the building, but my curiosity got the better of me. I kept walking closer and closer to the edge to see if I could find the holy relic. While I didn't see the holy relic, I experienced weightlessness as I fell 35 feet onto my back. It was the single most excruciating pain I've ever felt. It's almost like fate made me fall off of the roof. I was not worthy of seeing the book, and I was a fool for trying to see it.
A fall like that must have been devastating to your workload. I'm surprised it didn't make you produce double the products the next year.
The council tried to, actually, but Monica wouldn't let that happen. She did all of my farming with me. She took care of my kids along the way so that they could learn how to properly work and maintain the land.
I didn't know that you talked with the council.
Well, I wasn't planning on going down without a fight. And I wasn't going to let things go south for Lucas because of one small mistake. You're like my brother. You've all made mistakes. Cadence. I believe one year you let most of your potatoes rot because you neglected to notice that they produced earlier that year. And Harper, I believe you were caught stealing loaves of bread from me.
We were so hungry I didn't...
You don't need to explain yourself. It's in the past. I like to believe you would have done the same for me. You, however. Yes. Do I need to mention what you did? Or would you like to save that shred of dignity to yourself? Anyway, I've watched all of you reach your final states of growth, and I've enjoyed living with all of you.
What are you going to do about your store?
My oldest son will be taking it over. My youngest daughter, Laura, she would have been thrilled to take it over. But she was ended 8 years ago.
Well, I've always loved your store, Monica. You've always done a great job taking care of the place.
Thank you, Cole. If you'd be at all interested, I'm sure there'd be a position there for you.
Let's not be too charitable, Monica. That decision should really be left to the person who takes over the shop.
I suppose that's true.
So, can we talk about the book?
Absolutely not. This is a night for celebration, not depression. But stop. We've already said too much. You never know who is listening.
Can I ask you a question? Can I help you?
Of course, thank you so much.
Goodness. I don't think I've ever told you this, but you're terrible at cutting vegetables.
Excuse me.
Here, you have to hold the knife like this and gently rock your hand back and forth. Think you can do that?
I'm a fast learner.
Nobody ever wants to talk about it.
Talk about what?
The book. The fact that we have no chance of changing things.
That's a controversial topic. I don't know that I feel safe talking about it.
Yeah, but if we never talk about it, we're just getting ourselves ready to die. I don't know about you, but some of us don't deserve to have our lives taken away.
I get that.
William didn't deserve to die. His corpse is still fresh in my mind, and nobody's even thinking about him.
I can't stop thinking about him, and I can't believe that May sacrificed herself like that.
Maybe if we all work together, we could stop Monica from being taken away from us.
I've heard tales of villagers that have done that in the past, and they were all wiped away in the blink of an eye. It's like they didn't even exist.
But they did exist. Their legacy is clearly being carried on in our hearts.
I suppose that's true, but I'm too afraid to stand up to the elders or question the council. Still not very good.
I would like to propose a toast.
Can I propose a toast to Monica? I know that tomorrow is not the day you asked for or wanted, but we will treasure every moment between now and when you leave us.
You will leave this life with our honor, respect, and love.
We will never forget you, as long as we continue on with our lives.
Cheers.
If I may say something quickly, I remember when my child was taken away from me. It was one of the hardest moments of my life, and I thought about challenging the council. Right before I said anything, Monica stopped me dead in my tracks. And while it was painful for me to watch my child leave this earth, I had to accept it. I had to move on. And you helped me with that. You are a lovely person, Monica, and I don't know what our village will be like without you.
Thank you. Thank you all for dining with me tonight. You've all made my existence a pleasant one. The only thing I regret is not taking things more slowly and smelling the daisies. Spending time with my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, even great-grandchildren.
This doesn't have to happen.
We're not talking about this tonight.
Change starts with us. Why can't we be the council? They don't provide for us. All it seems like they do is eat our crops, criticize our decisions, and end our existence.
It's not a job I want to have.
Nor I. But we don't have to continue on like this.
Will you pass me the carrots, please?
Of course. Your crops are wonderful this year.
Thank you. I'm quite pleased with the way the plants grew. It was nice to wear the ceremony for a full season while we grew the crops.
Do you think there's a correlation between the growing season, the harvest season, and the amount of ceremonies there are? I remember in the truly great years when we could go for a whole year without having to say goodbye to anyone.
Can we not talk about that right now? I'd like to just enjoy the meal.
Of course. I'm very sorry.
What are you thinking?
I have a theory. It's something I've been thinking about a lot, actually.
Why do you think about this so much?
I've never stopped thinking about it. Ever since my father.
Wait, did something happen to him? We all figured he's just too sick to come to our meetings.
I want to tell you, but I need to know that I can trust you absolutely.
You can trust me.
If anybody found out, I don't know what would happen to me.
I promise I won't tell anyone anything.
So, about 2 years after my mother and brother died, my father, he started to go down a dark path. He would take everything out on me. I mean everything.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I ended him.
What?
I didn't mean to. It was a mistake. I don't even know what word ended him.
Oh my goodness.
But it made me realize the power of the words in the book. I thought that the book made it happen. I thought it used to do with the council. But once we hear a word at all, we stop living. It's not the book. It's not even the council.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I trust you. You're all I have left.
That doesn't make any sense. We have Jade and Harper and Lucas.
When I talk, you don't see me as anything other than me. You don't see my broken family. You see me. And I see a lot of myself in you. And that's why I need your help. We can fix the system and the council.
Hold on, you're not proposing murder, are you? I can't support change if that means that people have to suffer.
Of course not. I'm just saying that if we have the book, we don't have to accept the council's rule.
But what if you're wrong?
What's the point of living in fear? We don't have to.
Erica, is Cole bothering you?
Only always. I'm kidding, we're fine.
Please join us at the table, you three.
Please come with me. I know you want change, and I promise if you come with me, I'll keep you safe.
Where?
At nightfall, outside of the elders' chambers. There's nothing left to live for if we have to constantly live in fear.
We can't get caught.
We aren't going to.
No, we cannot get caught.
I promise that we are not going to get caught. I just need to know. Will you come with me?
After dinner. I can be quick and quiet. Can you be too?
We'll see.
Father,
Yes?
what's your favorite word?
Happy.
But it's such a simple word.
It's simple, but some of the best things in life are. We have to remember the things that make us happy.
I suppose.
What makes you happy?
When the skies are as beautiful as the flowers around our house. Our family. I have a friend who makes me very happy.
See, and I have many things that make me happy. A nice meal, your mother's smile. I even like it when we're tired after a hard day's work.
But ceremonies make me really sad.
But they make all the good things grow. Without the ceremony, our village might not be the way it is now.
Erica, it's not over there. It's over here. Come on.
Oh, Cole, I was in the most beautiful room. There was a giant painting with a huge tree on it, and then there were 3 men underneath it that looked like they were at odds with each other.
Do you think anybody saw you, though?
I'm not sure. I hope not.
I think this is the room with the book.
What makes you say that?
Remember when Lucas was talking about being on the roof? He said he could almost see the holy relic. Look over there. The roofing over there looks newer.
Yeah, you're right. That's probably where it is.
Wait, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna actually have to have a plan once we find the book.
We can't just steal the book, right? They'd notice right away.
But if we don't steal it, nothing changes.
Well, why don't we just rip out the page with Monica's name in it?
You've seen how big the book is? I'd imagine that only the council members know where each name lies in the book.
Well, they always say, your page has been marked, so a bookmark should show us where her page is, yeah?
That's right. It's over here. Her word is,
Epoch? What does that mean?
I have no idea. I've never heard of that word before. It's a nice word, though, don't you think?
I think that all of these words are beautiful. I imagine that's part of the point. It's the one thing the council members got right.
But withholding beautiful words and information from us, what is the council thinking?
Maybe it tells us. Let's look in the front first.
Oh, wow. I never actually took the time to look at the book itself. See, what does that look like to you?
a tree.
Duh. I'm saying that it looks like the book near Monica's house. You know, the one at the edge of the village.
Whoa. Yeah, you're right. They look exactly alike.
Should we take out her word?
I'm